Hi everyone, I'm Mike. I lead business development at MarsDAO, and today we have invited our partners, Everscale blockchain, and today we will speak about them. So, as many of you know, we recently launched our marketing campaign together, and it was initiated from the time when Everscale listed their token on Bybit, and they did it through the listing votes as we did at our time. So we decided here to help our partners, and our community contributed to their winning as well. So after that, we have launched a staking program, and now you may go to our website daomars.com, go to the depth section, select partnership staking, and then you may stake MDAO tokens and receive as the reward the token of our partner. So today our guest is Vlad Ponomarov. He's a CEO at Broxus, and Broxus is a premier Everscale blockchain contributors. So firstly,
Hi,
I want to
everyone.
say hi to Vlad, and please
Hello, everyone.
introduce yourself briefly.
Yeah, a pleasure to be here. So, hello, everyone. So, I'm Vladislav Ponomarev. I am the CEO of Broxus, and Broxus, the largest DeFi developer on Everscale, and also we are one of the largest contributors to the network itself. We have a portfolio of over 50 different products, developer libraries, and lots of other instruments. Moreover, we are the member of the Everscale DeFi Alliance, the consortium of funds and companies who are working with partnerships with liquidity provision for Everscale, and also on the strategy of the network itself.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's really awesome. Yeah, I want to note that Everscale have a variety of products that are really relevant to the industry, and they are outperforming. So, but firstly, I want to clarify for myself and for our community. Could you please tell more about the Broxus Everscale, how they are connected, and yeah, which relationship do you have?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, Broxus was one of the companies of 23 companies that initially launched Everscale, and on May 7th of 2020. And since then, we are developing the ecosystem and also specifically leading the DeFi section of Everscale and attracting a lot of new developers, new companies, new liquidity, new partners, investment funds, and so on and so forth. And moreover, we are contributing strongly, as I said, to the strategy of Everscale, and together with other partners, define where the network will go in the next coming years.
Wow, that absolutely awesome. And yeah, I just want to highlight that Everscale has a variety of products, not regarding some infrastructure solutions as a blockchain, but there are many like B2C products that are really intuitively known to anyone. So I have seen your NFT marketplace, and there was a really noisy one NFT collection that has been popular through all the internet, and it's about the cool mascot. So yeah, the floor price is really high, and I really love these pieces. Yeah, even myself, I wanted to buy it. So could you please, yeah, tell more about it? Why you decided to create, and yeah, what's would you expand like this brand further?
Yeah, sure. Actually, our mascot is armadillo, so it's quite an unusual animal, and it's very cute from one side, but it's really strong and persistent on the other hand, and so this really resembles our team of developers who are really professional and capable of delivering at high speeds and high quality. And roughly a few months ago, so we have launched an NFT collection dedicated firstly to our team. So that is called Broxy, after the name of the company, Broxus. And the main mascot, armadillos, have got a lot of excellent traits. And so in total, the collection is limited. So it's 1,221 armadillos out there. And the whole collection has sold out in 27 hours. So it was a huge success, and the team actually invested a lot of effort and the creativity into the development of this collection. Although it's a side product for us, but still it is something to showcase that we are not only building serious financial stuff, but we also can have fun and really keep the pulse of the industry. But besides being purely aesthetically pleasant and fun and interesting, so this collection also is designed to have utilities, different kind of utilities in our ecosystem. And now the team is working on a gradual introduction of such utilities. So we have started with the easiest ones that we have started with our partners. So now you can enjoy special conditions, special traits, depending on your Broxy NFT at our partners, like, for example, Poketon or Talkstock or Evergaming, for example, and a number of others. So we have recently published news about this in our corporate newspaper called the Broxus Times. So you can find all the existing utilities to date out there. So and soon we will publish also this newspaper as an NFT collection. So yeah, just come there
Wow.
and you will easily find it.
Yeah, thank you so much for this response. And I see that it's really unique that you have an NFT marketplace on your blockchain and you sell NFT pieces that are both yeah, aesthetically beautiful and they have utilities. So as I do understand correctly, they are sold forever token on Everscale blockchain, right? And
Yep,
yeah, I have seen
exactly.
that the price range is really diverse, and there are some really rare pieces. So I have seen also the landing page of the Broxy NFT collection, and as I know, the idea is yeah, like to gather a private community, gather them in different locations, yeah, like offline networking events, and also there are some like loyal bonuses to the products of your system. For example, yeah, for the come on as a mailing service, and for like poker, for Talkstock and other stuff,
Yeah,
and it's
Talkstock,
really
just for
amazing.
the
Yeah.
it's a NFT marketplace, one of several NFT principal NFT marketplaces of the network.
Yeah, and don't you know, would you plan to launch like other collection related to Broxy, or you will just list other on Talkstock?
Actually, we are still thinking about this, so there's no decision taken. However, we will definitely first roll out the full set of utilities first of the existing collection. And in my opinion, so it is not unveiled the full potential of this collection yet. So it's gradually unpacking, you know, like a new iPhone when you just are taking out the film from the box, but the box is not yet open. So this is pretty much the state where the collection is. So you have
Yeah, yeah.
already seen it. You have just removed the film, but still the main pieces are still inside. However, still this collection is getting a lot of attention now. So, and recently, one of the rarest pieces, the anonymous proxy, was sold out on Talkstock for 300,000 Evers, and this is the maximum to date. And the floor price is now roughly like 300 to 400 bucks. So it's not that expensive still. Yeah, like for example, apes or punks or whatever. So there's still a chance to get one until it's too expensive. Yeah, and I definitely think that the more interest to come with the reveal of main utilities that will be linked with our core products. But as we are caring a lot about the security of our products and about the integrity and contingency of the development, so we do not hurry with introduction of this utility, but rather do it step by step.
Yeah. Awesome. And yeah, you have social media networks for Broxy. And yeah, if you are interested, you may just go to Twitter, Discord, Telegram, and Instagram, find like Broxy NFT and subscribe if you want to keep updated. So the next question would be about the engagement of new developers to your ecosystem. So could you please specify how you do it? And are there any events you host to attract new people to the ecosystem?
Yeah, sure. So just to start, I should say that we as a company were always oriented at developers. So, and our own development team was creating a lot of tools and utilities for developers. And right now, Broxys is one of the main contributors to this tool set to facilitate the adoption and onboarding of new developers into the ecosystem. Because now the main challenge is not to onboard developers, for example, from other blockchains, but rather to develop Web 2.0 developers who are now more and more getting interested in the blockchain development in general. And to attract them and to support the onboarding, so we actually use several methods. So the first one, of course, is well-prepared documentation. And so we are constantly working on its improvement. So we have already published, I don't know, 3 or 4 iterations of this documentation. Each time it's getting better and better. So there is a new iteration upcoming. So hopefully, so we will be able to see it within a month, and it will be even better. Also, we have a lot of masterclass workshops, videos, a lot of different showcases. We have a Stack Overflow account, so and tag where you can post your questions and easily get answered. Next thing is that Everscale is a strong open source community. So, and the vast majority of products that are created on Everscale, so and that receive the support of the network itself, so they are all open sourced, and the licenses allow to use this source code to create your own products. And as Everscale uses different virtual machine than Ethereum, for example, so it has differences with programming for Ethereum, for example. And having a good example of a working source code that was audited, that is proven to work with a network, so is always helping developers to easily create their own products. Third, we make different developer-oriented events like hackathons or meetups in different parts of the world several times per year. And last year we hosted 2 hackathons under the brand Elysium. So the first one was in Belgrade, another one took place on Gitcoin. And on each of these events, so we actually gathered a lot of attention from the developers and got some interesting products created within such hackathon. And now we are thinking on how to improve even further this developer relationships stream. So, and how to make developers feel more comfortable when they are onboarding with Everscale.
Yeah, so as I understand, TVM is not is really like challenging regarding the community and development teams that need to have a really high level of skills, and they need to know many like libraries and languages of programming. So yeah, you need always to onboard new users, and I think that the openness of your system and the way that you incentivize collaborators really attracts more attention to the blockchain itself, and that's why you have gathered so many products, and yeah, all of them are working well. So I
Yeah,
hope, yeah,
well,
you'll.
it's not that terrible. So I wouldn't say like that is totally different or something like that. So we actually use our own dialect of Solidity for programming. The only and two differences, I would say, so principal differences from Ethereum Solidities. First, that it's asynchronous and it allows you to build in the really high load applications, like, I don't know, you can program a game, the real game on the blockchain. So that will not stall the network like it happened to Ethereum several times, like it happened to Solana time to time. So Everscale is really proven to withstand the sharply increased workload and keeping running even under this workload. And second difference is, of course, the primitives within the language itself, so that you will use, but it's easy to understand. So, and if you have got sources that you can use to learn from, so it's always a good opportunity. But of course, again, so we are constantly working on documentation and tutorials just to make the life of developers easier and easier to onboard.
Yeah, awesome. And you mentioned that your blockchain maybe even compatible for games. So do you have some focus on the industry that you want to onboard primarily some companies, or is it like not DeFi infrastructure like gaming, or you may onboard any industry you want?
I would say like Everscale is now positioned more like a new web rather than a specific blockchain just tailored for the needs of the DeFi industry or whatever, because in general, cryptocurrency market and blockchain decentralized applications market is extremely small. Although we have managed to, as an industry, to reach several hundreds of billions of dollars in the capitalization and the valuation globally, still it is less than 1% of the industry. And what we are trying to create with Everscale, so with by provision of its technologies, by its dynamic sharding, by its scalability, and all that kind of stuff, is that Everscale is a multi-purpose blockchain suitable for, well, most cases that you can imagine for, say, applications that are using web. And of course, so now we are showcasing this on the examples of games, of the DeFi applications that you can easily build here, of some complex cases where you need the real performance. But Everscale is generally suitable for all kind of applications. So if your application is not requiring high load, it's still capable to work with it, and it's still a good place to be, because the gas price is absolutely one of the lowest, and you can not be afraid that the blockchain one day will stall under the workload of some other application, for example. So it's totally reliable, and it can be scaled even further, so by just adding new validator nodes. And another applications where we position Everscale now strongly is the uprising market of the CBDCs, so the central bank digital currencies. This is a controversial topic, I know, so but still this is something that got a lot of attention in the recent couple of years, and the majority of economies totally representing 95% of the world's GDP are now working in this or that manner on CBDC projects, and we will see the majority of them using those projects in the real life just in a few years. And in such case, it's better to be part of this story. And Everscale is the ideal technology for CBDCs, actually, because it can be deployed either by as a separate fork, permission fork for central bank needs, or you can use what we call work chain. It's like parachains in Polkadot that has its own set of rules, permissions, or in its own virtual machine, but they are all communicating together through the master chain. And that what makes Everscale really great is that it's like a bridge between the two worlds, the world of regulated finance and the world of Web3, and everything new and good that is being created on the blockchain.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, we transferred our like discussion more about your strategic plans because yeah, I know that you recently signed a strategic alliance with Venom Ventures Fund and you have attracted an investment of $5 million. And also I know that you are in contact with like the government of UAE regarding CBDC. So could you please yeah tell more about this because I think this topic is really relevant. To onboard new Web2 users and to introduce the blockchain into just a conventional world where you may change the finance, how it goes, and implement some technologies that would be not against, but they would help people, even those who are not so interested in yeah new technologies and blockchain as well.
Yeah, so thank you for mentioning. And yeah, agreement with the Venom Foundation is really a big event. So it's big not only for Everscale, but also for the whole industry, because with this partnership, so actually we have created a new cluster of blockchains. Yeah, so and blockchain is based on the threaded virtual machine, which stands for TVM. And this is a real competitor to Ethereum virtual machine because the majority of blockchains are launched on the basis of EVM because it's the most tested and the most convenient one to deploy, and there is a lot of things already written on it, and still it's something that you are familiar with. But with TVMs now, so now we are creating a tough competition for hopefully for Ethereum based blockchains that can scale, that can withstand high throughputs, that can be served for different purposes, and all of them should be interoperable. Meaning that such blockchains can easily communicate with each other through the bridges or through some protocol improvements, and so on and so forth. And with Venom, so actually this partnership targets the several markets, so that will help to ensure better, how this notion says, better penetration of financial services to then bank people, to those audiences that are still not capable of using the modern finances. And on one hand, and on the other hand, so it will help to make the world more distributed, more decentralized, yeah, and let different countries, different governments to use the national currencies for settlements, and this process will be will benefit from all good things that were created in the Web3 world. And this is something big, some just breaking changes that we witnesses of. And the partnership with the Venom Foundation is just mostly the gesture of acceptance of TVM technology for some really, really big things that are to come. So unfortunately, I cannot disclose too much information about Venom now because they are preparing for the launches. So but believe me, so when everything uncovers, so it will be a really, really big story.
Yeah, I see. So Venom Ventures Fund is really huge and it has a lot of potential. So
Yeah,
that's why
absolutely.
big news are coming soon. And yeah, you mentioned the TVM and its principles. So could you please compare Everscale with other networks? Yeah, with like some popular ones, so our users may understand how technically it differs and where Everscale is located in like the map of blockchains.
Yeah, sure. So just to give you an example, for example, the nearest networks that are capable of performing at least at the scale of Everscale. Sorry for this. Probably worth to mention Near, which is also supporting sharding, but the way how they did it, so limits the have a cap performance actually. So although this blockchain is also very good and definitely it will find its users, However, so its scalability is limited, and it's mostly focused also on certain type of applications. And the second blockchain worth to mention, a blockchain protocol maybe, is Ethereum 2.0. So that has introduced a proof of stake consensus mechanism, and also some concepts for sharding. But Ethereum sharding relies strongly on the multi-layer rollup system, so what Vitalik has published, and the basic layer so is still capable of handling something like a few dozens of transactions per second until it holds. And so in Everscale, we believe that this approach is not that viable on a long run, because more layers means more complexity. More complexity means more vulnerabilities. More vulnerabilities means loss of money and trust. And trust is everything in blockchain world. And compared with Solana, so it's also in technical sense. So there are different paradigms of how the scaling works, but in Solana, so as we can have seen recently, so the issues start to struggle the network at already 2 to 4 kTPS, although they made some improvements recently. So I see that now they are at least showing something like 3 kTPS of all transactions, whereas Everscale has put the world's record for throughput at 64 kTPS somewhat year and a half ago already. And since then, so of course, we already made a lot of improvements to the network, and we are now preparing for releasing several new improvements to the protocol itself, like ramp, like a new type of consensus that is called soft majority fault tolerant consensus, that is much faster than the classic Byzantine fault tolerant that is used in other blockchains. And the core development team that develops the protocol itself and the node software, so they are always carefully analyzing what is going on. They are doing a lot of research, and hopefully we will see that Everscale will become even faster, even more capable to scale, and consuming even less resources.
Yeah, and now I see why you partnered with Venom Fund, and yeah, you contribute to the development of financial system because you have really high TPS, and you scale it within the time. So yeah, I know that, for example, Solana have a high TPS, but there are many crashes, and yeah, to have the stable system and to operate globally, like in just conventional financial world, you need to have the huge buffer for transactions to process, because yeah, people may just use different activity levels during the week, for example, or the year, and that's why it's really essential to know that you are capable of even more transaction to process. And yeah, I think the technical part is over because yeah, not
Yeah,
all guys
I
are
will
in this
just give you an easy example. So at World Football Championship of 2000 and some year, I don't remember. So Visa has set its own record of somewhat 52 kTPS, if I'm not wrong. So it means that right now, so if Visa decided to transfer all of its operations to Everscale, with its current set of validators, so Everscale would easily continue working without struggling. So
wow.
that's how Everscale works.
Yeah, that's awesome, and I cannot believe, yeah, that Visa, that has so huge history of finance, yeah, processing, may be comparable, yeah, to Everscale, because the technology is new, yeah, and it's not so easy to do it. And yeah, I just also want to talk to you about some other points. let's go to the utilities of just to our users. You know that Ever token has many utilities through the ecosystem because you have many products. Could you please elaborate on this? Yeah, and for some investors or just users who have purchased or staked and received Ever token, how they may use it in your ecosystem?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to make a long story short, so Ever is a native currency of Everscale. So and pretty much like I don't know ETH or in Ethereum. So it can be used for just a wide variety of purposes. So of course you will pay the gas fees in Ever, although we already have the gasless wallets upcoming. You can convert it into tokens using the different exchanges like Flatcube, for example. You can stake it. So, for example, we have two ways. The first one is the native staking of the network called D-pools, and these are special contracts where you can stake your Evers and get somewhat from 5 to 12% annual, just by helping validators to submit their stakes to Elector contract. And also for the convenience, we also introduced the liquid staking in Ever Wallet. So you just where you can with one button stake your Evers and later unstake them, and in return you will get ST Ever tokens that you can easily transfer, give away. You can just exchange them for other tokens. You can think of what you can do with it. Also, you can stake the liquidity on, for example, Flatcube in pair with other tokens and get a part in fees that are collected from exchanges. You can later use the LP tokens that you got in return to stake in farming and get some one of the highest yields in the market to date. You can will be able soon, so hopefully, so we are expecting the lending protocol to be launched, and you will be able to use it to borrow and lend your Evers to other users of the network. You can use Evers in different dApps, in different games, in different I don't know, utilities. So just have a look at Everscale website. There are a lot of different dApps that you can enjoy, and so on and so forth. So actually, if you rob, for example, your Evers into robbed Ever token, so you can also participate in the Everscale voting and on EverDAO. And I'm totally sure that I forgot something that you can do else with Evers. So there are a lot of possibilities now, and the number is constantly growing because new projects appear. They are offering new utilities. By the way, you can, for example, buy NFTs with your Evers. Why not? So just go to Everscale website and have a look there. So there are quite a number of different kinds of utilities.
Wow, that's a huge list, and there are real utilities like not created for some vision that yeah you have a lot, but it's really interesting. And yeah, meanwhile, I may just recommend our users to type questions like on YouTube or Telegram, and if you'll have some interesting questions that we have not covered, yeah, we'll talk about this as well. So yeah, for many of our users, it's really interesting to understand the mechanic of how they may use Ever tokens after the staking program, because many of them will receive Ever tokens from staking and buy like more for long run investment purposes. So they will receive it on the Binance chain, and then they may use this wrapped token go like to Octus Bridge, right? Transfer it to Everscale blockchain, and there,
Yeah.
firstly, yeah, you may just register the wallet, Ever wallet, and collect tokens there, or you may use it for swaps at Flatcube, yeah. You have the Telegram bot for poker, like pools of prices, and the GameFi platform called Evergame, like cyber sports, yeah, and mobile games. And yeah, as I remember correctly, you have also the
Yeah, so we will definitely
staking, farming.
publish links to all those services just down in the comments. So just go there. So just not to catch it on ear, but rather follow the link, and so you'll find there are a lot of ways to how to use those servers.
Yeah, and also I think that you forgot to mention about the domain service, decentralized
Yeah.
domains, right? So I think it's now again more popular within the community because you may just have a naming, your unique one. You just buy for different pricing, right? It depends maybe on the exclusivity that people have. So,
Not
no?
on exclusivity. Yeah, so the service is called Evername. So it's developed by another team named Blockchain Family, and so this is pretty much similar to the Ethereum name services that exist on Ethereum, and that got extremely popular in the recent years. And what it does actually is that you can get the name, for example, 123.ever, that you can later attach to your wallet address. And anyone who is sending you, for example, some tokens can, I'm sorry, can input instead of your address, your Ever name in the wallet, and the money will go directly to a wallet. But besides this, so you can use Ever name also in common, just by writing to this domain name. And pretty much like to email, and of course you have subdomains and so on and so forth. But Evername team has a really busy roadmap, so and they are going to release a lot of new functionalities this year. So just keep an eye on them.
Yeah, and I have seen, there are a few interesting questions from the community, and first of them is about your roadmap, your plans for this year. Could you please specify the key goals you want to achieve?
Yeah, so for this year, actually, we are focused on protocol improvements, so on the low level primarily, because we have come to the point where the initial ideas that were covered in the Everscale white paper so have come to the stage when they can be really implemented. And over the course of the last year, so we have performed a lot of different tests on different test networks. And now some of these technologies finally are coming to the production environment. And these changes are huge. So they are not that visible to a common user, but they are making the basic technology much more convenient for developers, much more stable, much more scalable. And so generally speaking, it makes everything better. So also the next big thing is, of course, our expansion on the markets. And since last year, so Everscale has positioned itself as a primary focus on Southeast Asian market, firstly. But it doesn't mean that we do not focus on other markets, but rather we would like first to make Everscale popular in such markets as South Korea, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, and some others. And for doing this, I mean recruiting local teams by approaching local influencers, by approaching local communities, finding local partners who are willing to build on Everscale. And now we have a strong business development team who is working on doing this. And third thing, as I said, so is CBDC and stable coins, and this positioning of Everscale is still being unwrapped, and so we are creating a lot of different materials covering this, and you may see a lot of good press articles being issued now in such magazines like Forbes, like Entrepreneur, like some others. I don't remember exact names, so you can Google them definitely. But the CBDC topic is really hot now, and we are right now in the right point to make Everscale the primary technology for CBDCs all around the world, because existing technologies like I don't know, Hyperledger or Corda, so they are mostly enterprise oriented. So, and they are working on old paradigms without taking into account the achievements that blockchain community in general have achieved over the last 5 years. And Everscale has collected the best of the best technologies that were invented. And definitely we would like to see the whole world working on the basis of Everscale technology.
Yeah, and as I know, you are talking to a few governments, yeah, and you have really ambitious plans. And yeah, our users are asking about the timeline. Like, do you have some predictions when you want to launch CBDC?
That's difficult because it doesn't depend on us actually, and typically different governments or big financial structures that have a strong influence in different regions, they are not as fast as we would like them to be, of course. And we have to adapt, we have to educate, we have to explain, and this takes a lot of time. But we are together with them growing the expertise. We are helping to shape the ideal new financial structure, so that the world may benefit from, generally speaking, just that faces the existing issues and helps to resolve them. So I cannot name names now, of course, because of NDAs, and but definitely we will be revealing gradually some great achievements that we managed to get to. So, and just keep subscribed to Everscale Networks social media, and you will learn the first.
Yeah, so I think that all topics are covered. So if you want to add something, feel free. But yeah, I would recommend our community to just to follow your social media, because you will announce all your milestones and plans and the goals that you have achieved. And yeah, let's like finish it up. And yeah, last words from you to
Yeah,
community of
yeah.
MarsDAO, yeah, to Overscale users as well.
Pleasure to be here first. So again, so it's always good to see new guys, to see new communities, because they have different interests, they have different points of view. So, and it's always good to see how people look at you from different angles. And of course, I invite you to join Everscale community as well, to say hi, to learn more about products that exist on Everscale, and maybe create new products on Everscale. So we are always welcoming new developers and new initiatives, and also spread the word and about Everscale, about our products, and let's create this new future together. So even my sister and mom already have Evers, so I can definitely recommend.
Yeah, mine as well. So, Vlad, thank you for the stream. I really know and I'm confident that we will have a long-term fruitful partnership, because we are now thinking about many utilities we may add to both our communities. And I know that we are like huge partners in the sense that we are somehow alike. And yeah, we have some differences, but we have the key goal, yeah, just to help industry and onboard new users, yeah, make the best experience for them. So I think it's achievable, and by these partnerships, we are getting closer to it. So thank you
Sure,
again for the streaming.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
thank
Thank
you
you for
our
having me
community.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you our community for coming. If you want to ask some questions, feel free to use our chats. Also, please join to the social media of Everscale. And yeah, see you soon. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.